V2K is stating all types of evil shit and accusing me of the false diagnosis. I gotta stop this video. V2K assault is heavy. I afforded myself 12 more minutes. I'm gonna try to make this quick because they're torturing me. I swallowed again. Or anyways, I show up to the court date, right? I walk to the court date. My family shows up. I speak to Judge O'Donnell. I had no issue with her. She was a fair judge. She's a fair person. And what's it called? I wanted to plead not guilty. I was put up to the stand. I was defending myself as defendant. And what's it called? She said, "What do you plead?" I said, "Not guilty." And I wanted to have a trial by jury, and I wanted to charge the police department with the officers involved with what I stated: menacing with stalking, harassment, use of excessive force, illegal search and seizure, and assault and battery, assault of an officer. And what's it called? She said, because you have a clean record, what's it called? Why don't you do the diversion program? I said, what's the diversion program? My back just popped. There we go again. I said, please explain, what is the diversion program? And she said, what's it called? 2 months rehabilitation and counseling, and your record is expunged. And I said, well, without further ado, let's do the diversion program. She said, you have to plead guilty. And I said, I didn't want to do that. But I decided to because at that time I thought, by the time I have to pay for an attorney, by the time I request a trial by jury, by the time my court case is put into motion, it's going to be more than 2 months. And then I have to pay the attorney, and then I might not win because I'm going against the Parma Police Department. But I could win. If I lost and was found guilty with a trial by jury, I would have had to face being found guilty with those charges, which are minimal charges, but I still would have been found guilty with charges on my record. So I said, all right, let me do the diversion program. I pled guilty. My father showed up to that court date and he said, can I say something? And I looked at his ass and I thought to myself, what the fuck do you even have the nerve to even say that when I'm defending myself? I asked you not to show up, and then, what's it called? You're gonna fucking say something? When I'm handling this all by myself, you can't just watch me handle it? When I asked you not to be here? I forget, she got mad at me, O'Donnell, that I was backlashing or said something to my father, said I was contempt of court, put me in handcuffs, and put me in a jail cell. She proceeded to talk to my mother and father out of the courtroom in her office. They took me out of the jail cell. This is after I pled guilty to the diversion program. What's it called? Brought me back into the courtroom, and she said, I am going to sentence you to 9 months house arrest without work privileges. I said, I just recently got a job at the D.E.W McDonald's. I had an interview a week before this court hearing, and I had an orientation the week after this court hearing. My girlfriend at the time worked at Cracker Barrel on D.E.W. When I was walking her to work, she said, McDonald's is hiring, apply at McDonald's. I didn't really want to work at McDonald's, but I thought to myself, you're asking me to, I'll be right next to you. We'll both have a job. We could save our money. We could get an apartment over here at what is it? Not Broadview Gardens. You know, the apartments right there by Big Creek. You know, or somewhere close by. You know, or Chevrolet Boulevard or whatever, and we'll both be close to work, we'll both work, and that's that. I got the job. Interesting thing about the Cracker Barrel, which links to her death to the cell tower, is if you look at the Google Earth image to this day of 480 Route 54 and 176, and I'm getting directly a direct energy weapon right now from the radio tower, terribly, by saying it. On the billboard right next to the 3-panel cell tower, which was 50 feet away from the building, you know what it says on the building? Go look it up. It says Cracker Barrel. Advertisement. Conveniently. Okay? Now, that aside, the judge knew I had a job. I told her I just recently got hired at McDonald's on Tiedemann. Would you please allow me to have access to go to work? Normally on probation. Normally on house arrest. If you don't have a job, they let you find a job and give you permission to go to and from work. She denied me with a job. And then, what's it called? She, instead of waiving the fee for the ankle monitor, which was $230 to $280 a month, she made me pay $230 to $280 a month when she denied me work privileges when I had a job. So I don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to pay for that, excuse my language. My mother had to pay for it. $1,400, $2,000. I asked her to reimburse in this lawsuit that I'm working on, for her to reimburse my mother. And what's it called? Because I never paid for that, because I don't deserve to pay for that. And what was I gonna say? I got played. I got played by the Department of Police. I got played by the judge. I got played by my family. And I had to go to Signature Health for counseling. In, what's it called? Where's it at? Garfield. And I talked to Janetta Ash. She was one of the nicest people I ever spoke to, and I'm so happy I spoke to Janetta Ash, because Chelsey ended up, we'll talk about that, she ended up getting murdered during this this house arrest sentence, and Janetta helped me deal with the trauma of her death. And what's it called? Thank you, Janetta, for your support. I really appreciated talking to you. If I'm gonna look you up and see if I can get in contact with you. And what's it called? 2 months diversion program when I was supposed to plead not guilty to those charges that I mentioned, and I would have won against the Department of Police. I would have won, flat out. When you trial by jury saw that shit, they would have said, "Fuck no, you're free to go, bro." And whether they're out of towners or not, police officers. Then the duping of my family being present in the court hearing, and what's it called? The lie of O'Donnell convincing me to do the diversion program by pleading not guilty, and then contempting me in court, and then sentencing me. Contempt of court is a maximum of 30 days lockup, to my knowledge. Or I don't know if the charge was contempt of court, excuse me, it could have been something else. But I know it's a maximum of 30 days. And that's all I should have been maximum sentenced for in due process constitutional court of the United States. Local, state, or federal. And anyways, Chelsey, Lynn, Louise, Godbold wasn't allowed at my parents' residence. They didn't like her based off of certain things that happened. The heating, microwave heating made my body do that. The heat in the basement. And anyways, I had to 5 months. Maybe next month, February. Chelsey needed to get laid, and so did I. She was holding out for me, to my knowledge, and she said, "I miss you." I said, "I miss you too." So she said, "Can I come over?" I said, "You're not allowed here." She said, "Can I still come over?" I said, "Yeah." And then, what's it called? It's gonna get graphic, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I invited her into the basement without my parents knowing, where I'm sitting right now. Right here was the last place where my bicycle is. I proceeded to perform oral sex on her because she asked me to, and I'm damn good at it, for the record. And I needed it, she needed it. My father woke up, came down the basement. I said, "Hide behind the bar." And then he knew someone was down here. Went behind the bar. Didn't know if she was there or knew she was there. Kicked her to see if she was really there or if there was nothing there. He called the police. This is about to cut off. He called the police to escort her out of the house. That was the last memory I had of her, physically. 5 months later, in May 23rd, 2018, she was tragically murdered on 480 train tracks right by 176 and Route 54. And then I had to suffer a white unmarked car with a native melanin female that was in the news pictures pulled into my driveway with red license plates. I knew I was being monitored by the FBI again because of her death on the federal tracks. I was walked up my stairs into the kitchen, looked out the front window, saw a car in the driveway. She saw me look out the window and she pulled out of the driveway. I think she was confirming that I was at the house, that I was on house arrest. I had nothing to do with the murder. And what's it called? I had to listen. I proceeded to knife train with kitchen knives